Imagine you are standing on a scorching, unforgiving African savanna 10 million years ago. Your ribs are pressing hard against your thin skin because a brutal, planet-wide climate shift has completely dried up the lush canopy of your ancestral trees. Your infants are wailing from starvation, and the terrifying shadows of prehistoric predators are actively circling just beyond the tall grass. Suddenly, you spot a pile of fallen, rotting fruits liquefying on the blistering dirt floor. It smells utterly repulsive, a sharp chemical sting that triggers every single biological alarm bell inside your primitive brain, warning you of imminent death. To reject this bubbling, fermented sludge means certain starvation for your entire family by tomorrow morning. Driven by pure, unadulterated desperation, you fall to your knees and stuff the foul, foaming mush into your mouth. Instead of dropping dead on the spot, a strange, warm sensation washes over your exhausted body as your liver miraculously neutralizes the poison. You have just survived the ultimate evolutionary filtration mechanism by utilizing a freak genetic mutation that processes ethanol 40 times faster than any other creature on Earth. That single, reckless moment of panic eating permanently altered the trajectory of our species and set a biological trap we are still caught in today. We modern humans love to tell ourselves a beautiful, romanticized story about how our brilliant ancestors consciously invented alcohol to celebrate life and build grand civilizations. But the cold, indifferent reality of natural selection is far more humiliating because it proves that liquid poison actually domesticated us first. That prehistoric evolutionary glitch did not just save a starving ape, it slowly rewired our neural reward pathways to crave chemical intoxication as a fundamental condition for survival. And this is exactly where the story takes a deeply uncomfortable and genuinely terrifying turn. To understand why you can casually order a stiff drink at a bar tonight, we have to look closely at a massive genetic accident that occurred exactly 10 million years ago. During the late Miocene epoch, our common primate ancestors suffered a critical mutation in a single gene known as alcohol dehydrogenase 4. This biological transformation suddenly allowed our lineage to metabolize ethanol at a rate 40 times faster than any other mammal on the planet. For any other creature, eating, fermenting fruit meant immediate, paralyzing intoxication and swift death by waiting predators. But for our desperate ancestors, it became the ultimate loophole to access dense calories that others simply could not touch. This grim survival mechanism forms the absolute core of the famous drunken monkey hypothesis proposed by evolutionary biologist Robert Dudley at the University of California, Berkeley. For over 25 years, researchers have tracked wild black-handed spider monkeys in the dense jungles of Panama to observe their dietary choices. Scientists discovered these primates actively seek out overripe, rotting fruits that regularly contain between 1 and 2% alcohol by volume. Furthermore, chemical analysis of their urine confirmed these wild animals were not just accidentally ingesting the substance, but actively metabolizing it for energy. Evolutionary pressure did not design your body to enjoy a sophisticated happy hour, but rather forced you to become a scavenger of toxic garbage. A parallel study conducted on wild chimpanzees living along the Ivory Coast revealed an even more disturbing reality about our biological programming. These wild apes routinely absorb the chemical equivalent of 2 standard human alcoholic beverages every single day simply by eating their normal wilderness diet. Evolution is entirely indifferent to your long-term health, your mental well-being, or your happiness. Its only objective is ensuring you live just long enough to pass on your DNA. The tragic modern reality of widespread alcoholism and devastating liver disease is not a moral failing or a character flaw. It is actually the lingering installment plan we are still paying for that free ancestral lunch on the savannah floor. What originally functioned as a brilliant, temporary hack for starvation has now transformed into a massive security flaw deep within the modern human brain. When ethanol crosses your blood-brain barrier today, it violently hijacks the ancient reward pathways that were originally designed to celebrate finding rare carbohydrates. Your subconscious mind genuinely believes you are saving yourself from an existential famine when you are actually just sitting on a comfortable couch destroying your internal organs. For millions of years, this parasitic relationship remained entirely natural, balanced, and completely restricted by the scarcity of the wilderness. But roughly 13,000 years ago, nomadic cave dwellers discovered a terrifying way to industrialize this evolutionary glitch, and the resulting chemical nightmare would shatter human freedom forever. The oldest concrete evidence of deliberate human alcohol production takes us deep inside Rakefet Cave, located near modern-day Haifa. Around 13,000 years ago, a fascinating group of semi-nomadic hunter-gatherers called the Natufians used this dark cavern as a sacred burial site. While analyzing the ancient stone mortars carved directly into the bedrock, a team of dedicated archaeologists from Stanford University discovered microscopic residues of ancient starch grains. Chemical analysis conclusively proved that these prehistoric humans were executing a complex, three-stage brewing operation long before anyone on Earth had ever planted a single crop. They were intentionally malting, mashing, and fermenting wild wheat and barley to manufacture a crude, intoxicating substance specifically for their dead. Modern media often romanticizes this discovery as a beautiful, mystical ritual where ancient humans toasted the heavens with pristine golden elixirs. However, the harsh biological reality of this prehistoric brew was an incredibly foul, room-temperature soup that would make a modern stomach violently convulse. This prehistoric beer was a thick, muddy sludge teeming with airborne wild yeasts, decaying organic matter, floating insect wings, and environmental dust. The mixture was so utterly putrid and choked with debris that the Natufians were forced to invent long, hollow plant reeds to use as the very first drinking straws. They literally had to bypass a thick, rancid layer of rotting scum floating on top of the stone bowls just to suck out the toxic liquid beneath. Despite the absolute filth and the constant risk of lethal bacterial contamination, these ancient people became deeply obsessed with this mind-altering liquid. The Natufians did not view this putrid concoction as a casual beverage, but rather as a profound, supernatural doorway to the afterlife. They routinely buried their deceased loved ones on beds of fresh flowers and accompanied the graves with massive quantities of this intoxicating sludge. This reveals a jarring psychological truth. Our ancestors willingly consumed disgusting, contaminated poison because the craving for altered consciousness outweighed their basic survival instincts. Their desperate need to escape ordinary perception was so overwhelming that they willingly integrated this toxic fluid into their most sacred cultural foundations. This early experimentation sparked a runaway cultural wildfire that quickly spread across the entire prehistoric landscape. Humans across different continents independently began seeking out their own localized methods of fermentation, proving that our species is fundamentally and incurably addicted to chemical numbness. From the Neolithic villages of ancient China to the clay vessels buried in the soil of Georgia, humanity spent thousands of years optimizing this biological poison. But the ultimate tragedy occurred when our ancestors decided they could no longer rely on gathering wild grains to satisfy their expanding collective thirst. And this is the exact moment when humanity walked straight into a massive, irreversible trap that would permanently ruin the next 10,000 years of human freedom. For decades, mainstream history textbooks have repeated a comforting lie that the agricultural revolution was driven by our ancestors' noble desire for a stable food supply like bread. However, a revolutionary and deeply unsettling counter-argument known as the beer-before-bread hypothesis suggests that humanity actually walked into the trap of farming entirely because of our collective thirst for alcohol. Pioneered by prominent archaeologists like Brian Hayden, this theory argues that the intense desire to produce fermented beverages reliably and consistently was the primary catalyst for the birth of civilization. Our ancestors did not settle down because they wanted to fill their stomachs with dry flour, but because they desperately needed to keep their primitive fermentation vats completely overflowing. This staggering historical shift represents the ultimate Faustian bargain, where humanity traded its primordial freedom for a permanent, intoxicating crutch. To truly appreciate the sheer madness of this transition, we must look at the brutal reality of early agricultural life compared to the hunter-gatherer lifestyle. Anthropological data shows that prehistoric nomads worked far fewer hours, possessed much stronger teeth, enjoyed taller statures, and maintained incredibly diverse diets compared to early farmers. Why would any rational primate willingly choose to abandon this free, healthy existence to break their back for 14 hours a day under a scorching sun? The traditional explanation of farming for survival makes absolutely no logical sense when early agriculture actually caused widespread malnutrition, agonizing spinal deformities, and rampant infectious diseases. The only prize valuable enough to motivate such a catastrophic evolutionary demotion was a guaranteed endless supply of calorie-dense, mind-numbing alcohol. By choosing the plow over the bow, our ancestors fundamentally altered the genetic destiny of our species and escalated our dependence on a single chemical compound. We transformed ourselves from proud, apex predators, roaming the wilderness, into miserable, exhausted servants of wild grasses like wheat and barley. The entire architecture of early human settlements was designed to protect these precious grains from weather, pests, and rival clans who sought to steal the means of intoxication. We built massive, stone-walled granaries not to safeguard the community from a hypothetical famine, but to guard the vital raw materials needed for mass chemical escape. Civilization, in its truest biological sense, did not emerge from a desire for intellectual progress, but rather as an elaborate, heavily fortified infrastructure to support a permanent collective addiction. This dramatic escalation of human density created a pressure cooker of existential dread that required even more alcohol to tolerate, forming a vicious and inescapable loop. As thousands of people crammed into filthy, mud-brick villages alongside their domesticated animals, deadly plagues swept through the population with terrifying regularity. In a world where local water supplies were constantly contaminated with lethal pathogens and raw sewage, fermented beverages became the only biologically safe fluids left to drink. The natural antimicrobial properties of ethanol meant that those who drank beer survived, while those who drank pure water died agonizing deaths. Thus, humanity became utterly trapped in a dark, self-perpetuating paradox where we needed to stay constantly intoxicated just to survive the horrific conditions of the civilization we built to get drunk. Once humans established permanent settlements, the ruling elites of Mesopotamia quickly realized that alcohol could be weaponized into a powerful tool of bureaucratic control. Archaeological excavations at Göbekli Tepe in modern-day Iran have uncovered crystallized calcium oxalate inside clay vessels dating back to 3500 before the Common Era. The ancient Sumerians did not view brewing as a casual hobby, but rather organized it into a massive, highly regulated state-run institution that dominated their entire economy. They even elevated the substance into their religious pantheon by worshipping Ninkasi, a powerful goddess whose name translates directly as the lady who fills the mouth. Around 1800 before the Common Era, an anonymous scribe composed a famous hymn to this deity that actually doubled as a precise, step-by-step brewing recipe. The rulers of these pristine cities did not distribute this holy fluid out of sheer generosity, but used it as the foundational currency to pay their massive labor forces. Standard administrative clay tablets reveal that ordinary construction workers and temple scribes were systematically compensated with exactly 2 liters of beer every single day. This ingenious system created a terrifying form of biopolitical slavery, where the working class became entirely dependent on the state for their daily caloric intake and psychological escape. By keeping the population perpetually numb and physically reliant on state-provided ethanol, the ruling elite successfully solved the ultimate political problem of preventing a sober slave revolt. If you are too exhausted from building ziggurats and too intoxicated to think clearly, you are completely incapable of organizing a successful revolution against your masters. As these alcohol-driven empires expanded, the state control over fermentation became incredibly draconian and strictly codified into law. The famous Code of Hammurabi, written around 1754 before the Common Era, contains specific, brutal legislation regarding the sale and quality of beer. The state cataloged at least 70 distinct varieties of fermented beverages, ranging from light domestic beers to highly prized luxury blends flavored with sweet honey. If a tavern owner was caught watering down their product to cheat customers or overcharging for low-grade brews, the official punishment was being thrown directly into the river to drown. Humanity's very first comprehensive written legal system did not focus on human rights, but rather prioritized consumer protection laws to ensure the working class remained reliably sedated. Across the desert, the ancient Egyptian empire took this system of liquid pacification to an even more sophisticated and grand scale. The massive labor forces that constructed the Grand Pyramids of Giza were not enslaved prisoners, but paid workers who received heavy daily rations of thick, nutritious beer. Because the waters of the Nile River were constantly teeming with deadly bacteria, drinking low-alcohol fermented beverages was genuinely the only way to avoid fatal biological infections. Meanwhile, the ruling elite separated themselves from the common masses by strictly reserving fine grape wine for royal pharaohs, high ceremony, and lavish burial chambers. These ancient Egyptian tombs contain the oldest wine labels in human history, carefully detailing the specific vintage year, the vineyard of origin, and the name of the chief vintner. What began as a desperate scramble for rotten fruit on the prehistoric Savannah had successfully evolved into history's ultimate tool of mass social engineering. Every single great empire of the ancient world was fundamentally fueled, organized, and politically stabilized by the precise distribution of state-controlled biological poisons. Alcohol effectively functioned as a primitive form of public health infrastructure, a reliable financial currency, a spiritual doorway, and a psychological weapon of submission all at once. The unintended consequence of this ancient arrangement was the permanent domestication of Homo sapiens into an easily manipulated, state-dependent workforce. We built a world where chemical sedation became the mandatory price of admission for civilized life, setting up a psychological loop that would echo across millennia. When you finally finish a grueling week of corporate work and walk into a crowded bar on a Friday night, your brain experiences a profound evolutionary regression. As you eagerly lift that cold, sweating glass of alcohol to your lips, your primitive subconscious genuinely believes you are a starving primate on a dying savanna floor. You are not actually relaxing or celebrating a successful business quarter with your friends, but are instead triggering a 10-million-year-old biological panic button to cope with immense stress. The warm, fuzzy sensation of that first sip is merely your ancient liver desperately neutralizing a chemical poison that your ancestors used to survive a catastrophic global famine. We are still helplessly trapped in the exact same primeval loop, utilizing a prehistoric genetic glitch to temporarily numb ourselves from the suffocating realities of modern life. This realization reveals the supreme, terrifying cosmic irony that lies at the absolute foundation of our entire global civilization. Our nomadic ancestors willingly abandoned their pristine health, forfeited their freedom, and broke their backs farming wild grains for thousands of years just to secure an endless supply of alcohol. Now, over 10 millennia later, we relentlessly consume that exact same chemical poison just to tolerate the crushing stress and existential dread of the artificial world we built to obtain it. It is a perfectly closed, self-perpetuating biological prison where the ultimate remedy for our modern anxiety is the precise substance that created the modern world in the first place. Homo sapiens did not successfully tame the wilderness through brilliant intellect, but were instead thoroughly domesticated by a microscopic fungus that rewired our neural reward pathways. The next time you hold a drink, take a quiet moment to look closely at the swirling liquid inside your glass and contemplate the immense historical weight of that chemical bond. You are participating in an unbroken, 13,000-year-old ritual of survival, community, political sedation, and desperate psychological escape that connects you directly to a cave dweller in ancient Israel. This brings us to a deeply uncomfortable question that challenges everything we believe about our supposed human supremacy and free will on this planet. Did humanity actually civilize the Earth through conscious choice? Or did a clever, microscopic yeast strain psychologically manipulate our entire species into cultivating its favorite food source for eternity? Leave your thoughts on this evolutionary hostage situation in the comments below, and let us know if you think we are the masters of this chemical or merely its highly evolved farm animals. If this existential deep dive has completely shattered your perception of human history and rewired your mind, make sure to hit that subscribe button right now. We will continue to peel back the dark, hidden layers of our biological reality and expose the strange traps that secretly govern your daily choices. Do not forget to share this video with your favorite drinking partner so they can ponder their own genetic conditioning during your next night out. Thank you for watching. Stay endlessly curious. And remember to look closely at the invisible forces that truly run your world.